AITA for telling my sister that my only regret is slapping her instead of punching her harder? My 28F sister Nova, 30F, used to be a normal person until a year ago, give or take. She entered a new group of friends and she became a life coach. She and her friends basically coach people into everything like relationships, divinity, nature, returning to the origins, feminism, etc. They also organize retreats to Peru with their clients, doing there for 2 weeks at a time for some spiritual thing. At first I was happy for her because this new hobby seemed really cool, sounded interesting, and she was happy. The problem is after some time she started to be really mean to people who don't share the same views as her. For example, she tries to convince me that my life choices are not actually my own but I am in the matrix and all my choices are induced and imposed to me by the patriarchy system. And by life choices she means me loving to take care of how I look, going to salons, dressing up, getting my hair and my nails done. Things that I started doing ever since I was a teenager and that I do monthly because hell, life is short, earning money involves having a job which sucks, so I believe I deserve to treat myself with my own money. But to her it does not matter that I love doing all of these. Somehow it's my husband's fault and he is the one brainwashing me to be like this. I never had any reaction to what Nova has been saying about me because it doesn't bother me honestly. If I know something about me it's not true, I don't feel like having to prove to you that what you claim about my person is false. But yesterday she crossed a line when she made mom cry. She called my mom a breeder who was used by our dad to reproduce and raise kids just because she was a som. For info, my mom was not a som because she wanted to or because she was lazy. Mom has an autoimmune disease that periodically makes her incapable of using her hands. She can be okay today and wake up tomorrow with her hand paralyzed. And Nova knows it. She also knows this is a big insecurity for mom. After the debut of the disease she had years seeing herself as useless and dad having to reassure her she is not. Dad even started making candles with her at home and selling them after just to help her with her depression. So I lost it, slapped Nova, pulled her hair a little and called her names. I know violence is bad and everything but she was way out of line. Since last evening she is demanding me to apologize to her, otherwise she will report me. But me not apologizing is the hill I am willing to die on in this case, and I told her what I said in the title. If she can't understand she hurt mom, why should I care that I hurt her?
Relevant comment. Chesavillain. How did your mom manage to take care of you guys growing up with paralyzed hands? Did dad have to stay home the days she woke up with paralyzed hands? Did you lose any siblings growing up?
OP. The only bright side was that mom never had both her hands paralyzed at the same time. Sometimes it happened to be the left one, other times would happen to be the right one, or she would just have one of them not functioning and the other one more like numb. Most of the times it was the left one, but it happened suddenly so you never knew when it would strike. When the hand was not paralyzed, she still struggled with her muscles and mobility, so for example she was not able to open jars or open really tight closed bottles. When her issues started we were older so we were able to do things by ourselves. I was around 11 to 12, my sister was older. In the beginning yes, dad used to stay home to help, but after some time they had to adjust to the situation. So for example mom would decide in the evening what she'll cook the next day and what she'll be needing, and dad would open the jars or prepare the ingredients so that she can have everything available the next day when he was not home. Also dad did all lifting and carrying grocery shoppings and mostly everything my mom was not able to do. But she still did a lot. She cooked and cleaned and cared for us. It was just a readjusting period and a different way to divide chores.
Strange_1_3790. Esh. You shouldn't have slapped her. You gave her a massive advantage. Question, if you were charged, would it hurt your career? If not, it might be best to take the assault charge, hire a good lawyer and cut her off.
OP. In real life you don't get charged of assault so easily. Think about all the women who have catfights on a daily basis, angry cheated wives, siblings fight, etc. If all of us would be charged with assault for every punch or slap, the prisons would have no capacity left. I am not trying to downplay what I did and I fully own it. But assault seems a little too much. I just slapped her and pulled her hair. She is a fully grown woman who, by the way, is bigger than me. She could have defended herself or slapped me back easily. And she should be happy she was not slapped by my dad because she deserved it. As a parent I would never allow any child of mine to disrespect their parent who fed them and cleaned their poop. I don't care if you agree with your parents or not, you owe them respect, period.
Strange_1_3790. That is because people don't report assaults. If she is set on reporting this, you will learn the hard way. People don't hit each other, where I live anyways, as much as you think. Smell Majestic 7355. Hard to sign off on violence, but calling her own mother a breeder? That's definitely cult territory. Also, as a feminist, I believe women can stay at home. If she believes women have to earn money to have value, she's anti-feminist. I work full-time, but my value is inherent from birth, and anything beyond that comes almost entirely from who I am outside of work. Can you drop the name of the cult she joined? I'm considering life coaching classes, and I'd like to avoid it. Though, they're all seeming a little off. It's hard to actually join because they're like 5K and all seem like scams.
OP. Be careful with what group you join. My sister's group doesn't have a specific name because they don't see themselves as a cult. They see themselves as this bunch of open-minded, liberated people who got out of the matrix, fight against the patriarchy, and who somehow feel illuminated enough to teach others and give life and relationship advice. If you really want to get in touch with a life coach, look closely at their life before believing what they say. If your life coach is someone with no spouse, no kids, no partner, how can that person give you relationship advice? Based on what experience? How can anyone who was never married know what happens in a marriage or advise you what to do in yours? Would you ever take parenting or childcare advice from someone who doesn't have kids? Or you would look for someone who has experience with them or at least a degree to support their claims? Think about it. Update. Hi all. Thank you for all your advice and feedback to my other post. Some of you have sent me messages asking for an update, so I will provide. Some of you have also sent me links to some questionable people who have taken my original post to another sub, making fun of my mom for being disabled. In case the same individuals see this post too, I just want to wish you all the very best in life. I would like to call you animals, but that would be too offensive for the actual animals to be compared to you, but if you are the type of creatures to make fun of people with health issues or disabilities, well, I wish life gives each and every one of you what you deserve. Remember, karma always comes back, and when it does, it usually slaps us in the face harder than I did to my sister. So the update. Nova did try to report me to the police and nothing came out of it. We found this out from my cousin who knew about the conflict and decided on her own to snoop a little, initiate talks with Nova and find out what she is on too. As expected, the police told Nova that she has not sustained any kind of injury, that this is a family matter that should be solved between us, and that basically they have more important things to do than waste time on catfights between sisters. So I will not face any kind of charges, I will not be convicted for assault, I am not going to jail, I will not have anything on my record, etc. Dad tried to have one last talk with Nova, thinking that maybe he can make her see she is wrong and help us mend our relationship. So he dragged me to meet her to talk. Mom was not present because we had to protect her from my sister, so she stayed at home. The meeting and our talk went as bad as I think everyone expected. Nova continued with her nonsense, called Dad abusive, claimed that he is the typical male who wants to put women down, that he controls Mom by making her a breeder and a som so that he could feel powerful, etc. Dad informed Nova that since she has such horrible parents, an abuser and a breeder, she could start considering herself an orphan from now on. This time I did not slap her, I was not violent in any way, and I just told her I am ashamed of being related to her. I told her that she needs help to get out from the cult she joined, and most probably from the drugs she has been using during her retreats in Peru. She denied the cult and the drugs and said I was stupid because I can't understand. She had her spiritual awakening and she is the one seeing things clearly now. I told her no, she had no spiritual awakening. She is just a miserable person with no friends except of the ones from the cult, no partner, no life, nothing. And that before judging women for being breeders, she should think long and hard that those breeders were able to do something in their lives while she is just a lonely, sad person who needs drugs and coca leaves to cope with her misery. So we are no contact with her. I don't know if in the future she will come back to her senses or if we will be able to mend things if that happens. But for now we don't need this kind of insanity in our lives.